So then you just decided we'll start our own restaurant, Yanks in Paris, Young Yanks, and you were writing recipes for Williams Sonoma at the time too.
Yep.
Also.
We were consulting for Williams Sonoma. I mean, basically, like we were using consulting as our means to live here, using Hidden Kitchen as continuously as our way to connect, even to make some of the connections that we've made for consulting all kind of came through Hidden Kitchen.
So you were entrepreneurs without portfolios. But you're pretty wise. Hidden Kitchen, connections, work on. Then you said, we're going to start a restaurant. Now your father was in business, and he said, use your own money, basically. Why was that?
I mean, it was my father-in-law, my wife's father, who said, you know, with your first business, it makes more sense if you can invest in yourself. Because if you can, then down the road you're going to be able to call the shots when you take on investors later on.
Right.
And so rather than have to make sacrifices that we didn't want to make for our first endeavor, rather than, you know, be told what somebody else thought would work, we kind of had the idea in our head of what we wanted to do, and we believed that it was going to work, and so we put our own money into it. And you know, I think it made it a lot easier because there were definitely some dark times when the restaurant started and it wasn't very busy, and you know, we were desperate to get customers, and I think a lot of people would have panicked at that stage, and we believed in what we were doing and believed in the products that we were buying, and so we knew that eventually people would catch on to what it was we had, and eventually it would get busy.
And that is, your food, now you said you want to democratize food. Bring it down a pedestal, but it's American, and since American has a lot of variety, that's what kind of foods you have. For example, they have something called a corn dog. We all know Iowa State Fair, even New Jersey State Fair, but in this corn dog you have rabbit sausage with bitter mustard graves. Is that? And give us some other examples of the food here.
You know, it's certainly the ethos of the restaurant to use animals in their entirety. I think, especially as Americans, we get used to one or two or three different types of cuts that come from an animal, and for us, we wanted to work with animals in their entirety, and so oftentimes you have to get creative, or you have to find ways to use all of the parts. In the case of the corn dog, we had these incredible rabbits that were coming from the Loire Valley. You know, I told my sous chef, Hannah, who runs Ellsworth, I was like, listen, like, why don't we break down these rabbits, make a sausage out of the rabbits, and then, you know, that would be the end of it. Like, there we go, we have a rabbit sausage that we can use every part of the rabbit to serve. And so she decided at Ellsworth to take the rabbit sausage, you know, take it one step further, kind of put this twist on it that gave it a, kind of an American angle. And so she's like, you know, what if we take those are rabbit sausages that we're already doing at Verjus. We dip them into like a cornmeal batter, fry them, and serve them with our house-made mustard. And so, you know, they were making a mustard every 3 days. Sometimes they were making it like Guinness-based, sometimes they were making cider-based mustard.
So it's temporal. Anything can happen.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's going to taste good.
It's going to taste good. I mean, for both restaurants, like, we buy products that we believe in. We work with farmers that we adore talking to. We work with farmers that we adore, like, seeing what they're growing. And so the menu reflects that. I think a lot of times, especially at this restaurant, you know, it's a higher priced restaurant, so we're serving more elegant cuts of meat. It's exclusively the tasting menu, and so people come and we'll use these lambs that come from Burgundy, and we'll use the loins at this restaurant. We'll break them down, and then at Ellsworth they'll make a lamb ragu out of the shoulder meat or the leg meat.
Minimize waste,
and
use
so,
everything.
You know, we don't throw anything out, and we get a chance to work with incredible lambs that I think would probably cost too much if we were just buying the loins from them.